Pizzeria, Pineapple Express, and Disco Dogs are just 3 of the 15 different food trucks here at the 2nd Annual Food Truck Wars. And yes, I may have egg on my face because Simon Hyde and I just took part in a game of Russian egg roulette where we willingly agreed to crack raw eggs over our head. Here's a quick sneak peek.
C, asparagus. Simon?
Spinach?
You are correct. All right, Janella, let's start off with you.
Darn! Oh, here we go, guys.
Oh! The next question. Whose showbiz marriage to her 3rd husband provoked the headline, Egghead Weds Hourglass? A, Eva Gabor. B, Elizabeth Taylor. Simon?
Marilyn Monroe?
Correct.
That's because he's older. He knows these things. I guess age does help.
And we have our winner.
Simon from Shaw TV!
And Simon Hyde is our winner. His charity is the SPCA.
Big congratulations to our very own Simon Hyde, who won Russian egg roulette. His charity of choice, the Saskatoon SPCA, will be receiving a $100 donation. Well, as you can see, there is so much to do and see here at the Food Truck Wars, so let's go explore. Coming up, for the first time ever, these 5-year-old twins are meeting the paramedics who helped deliver them. And we find out how love led this Saskatoon man to open a Middle Eastern cuisine food truck. Over the past few years, Saskatoon's food truck scene has just boomed. There is such a variety of flavors at this year's Food Truck Wars. But for now, let's take a look at what's new in Saskatoon's art scene. The work of world-famous local author Jan Martel has been adapted for a new play at Persephone. Simon Hyde has an interview with Martel and brings us more on Beatrice and Virgil.
Jan Martel has been down this road before. The author knows well what it's like having the words he's written transformed into another medium, having seen his Life of Pi become an Academy Award-winning film.
It's a tricky thing. You know, a novel is 300 and some pages. A screenplay will be at most 120 or so pages. And it's something as vastly complicated as a movie. You know, it involves literally hundreds of people and dozens of millions of dollars. It's a tricky thing. But no, I was very happy with the adaptation.
And while he was generally pleased with the cinematic treatment of his work, he believes it may be more suited for a stage adaptation, where there is more emphasis on the words than the visuals.
Theatre has, of course, wonderful visual capacities, but it tends to bring out more, I think, the emotional and the verbal. Plays are obviously verbally driven and also emotionally driven. A play doesn't work if it is not emotionally driven.
Audiences in Saskatoon will get the chance to judge for themselves when an adaptation of Martel's Beatrice and Virgil hits the backstage stage at Persephone. Like Life of Pi, it is somewhat autobiographical, as it tells the story of an author trying to follow up a highly successful book.
And that is indeed the case with me. Life of Pi was very successful. I still receive letters from fans, and I reply to every single one of them. So I use that as sort of the starting element of the story. But in a sense, I fictionalize myself to draw the reader in.
In Beatrice and Virgil, the writer meets a playwright who is also a taxidermist. But in another similarity with his earlier work, the animals are an allegory for something bigger.
Henry, the writer, realizes that there's much more going underneath this play that this man has written. So he's trying to figure out what it all represents, and then that leads to a very personal story about the taxidermist.
While the play had a run in Toronto previously, this is a uniquely Saskatoon production. The book was adapted by Lindsay Cochran, who is from here, as is her brother Brian, who directs. And of course, the Booker Prize-winning author also now calls the city home.
It's nice to have him here, so if we have a question, or if we had, what was your thought on that, we can just ask the source. We don't have to guess or come up with a reason on our own. We can just ask him.
I've never seen anything like this.
Brandon and Gordon Portman are the only actors who appear in the show, which may come as a surprise to those who have read Martel's densely woven source material.
I do think the people who have read the book will be interested in seeing it just to see how 2 actors tell the story. And for those who haven't read the book, all the better. They won't know what's coming. But then I would encourage them to go read the book, because obviously books can just have that much more detail in it.
Beatrice and Virgil runs through June 4th at the backstage stage. For Go on Shaw TV, I'm Simon Hyatt.
The sun is shining, we are surrounded by delicious foods, and from the Smiles on Community faces, they are enjoying the second annual Food Truck Wars. Of course, right now we are joined by the event organizer, David Ma. David, this is the second year for this festival. Why bring it back? How was the response from last year?
We had an amazing first show last year, so why not do number 2? Yeah, we're very happy with the turnout. It's been great. Great today. Weather is not so great yesterday, but still a great turnout, so we're very happy overall.
Absolutely. Now, many people may know you. You and your father, of course, are the owners and founders of Pineapple Express. From my recollection, I believe it's one of the first food trucks here in Saskatoon. So how has Saskatoon's food truck scene really grown over the last few years?
Yes, I believe we're the second truck technically on the road. There's a lot of trucks now, and there's always new ones popping up all the time. So we have probably the top 3 strongest in Canada for food truck scenes. So it's very, very good.
That's pretty impressive. Now, we're here at the second annual Food Truck Wars, of course. We just took part in a Russian egg roulette. Simon and I from Shaw TV have been judging all weekend long. There was a dessert challenge yesterday. There's an entree challenge today. What else was going on this weekend, and what do you want community members to know about this festival?
We had an amazing entertainment lineup this year. We had a high-impact wrestling show on Friday night. So fun, really good. The crowd is really into it. Saturday we had a few competitions. We had a arm wrestling competition, as well as our desserts drink competition for the food trucks, which was really, really cool. And the event highlight for sure was the hip-hop b-boy dance competition that we had last night. It was amazing. We have a video game lounge for the kids so that they can come play for free. We have a couple of vendors set up selling various random items. Goes from comic books all the way to toys. We also have a few sponsors setting up booths as well. So a lot of things for and activities for the kids.
All ages.
Yeah, all ages for sure.
All right. Well, moving forward, what do you hope for Food Truck Wars? Do you hope it grows bigger and bigger? Because I know this year we have 15 food trucks.
Yeah, we maybe squeeze 1 or 2 more in next year. We'll try, but we're kind of limited for space. But everybody's really happy. A little bit of a long line to wait for food, but there's no reason to go anywhere. We've got a lot of stuff inside the hall. So
that's right. And the sun is shining. It's a beautiful day. Thank you so much for taking a few minutes to chat with us.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Later on, we find out how SkyApp's Urban Canvas program is impacting the lives of young people, and the tents are up. We check out the official kickoff for this year's Shakespeare on the Saskatchewan.
Welcome back to Go on Shaw TV from the second annual Saskatoon Food Truck Wars. Coming up, we'll meet the owner of Tsum Tsum Middle Eastern Cuisine, a food truck that was created after a Saskatoon man fell in love in the Middle East. But first, let's meet a Saskatoon woman and her 2 5-year-old twins, one of whom was born on the side of the road. Recently, the family met the 2 MD ambulance paramedics who helped them through a difficult time and a sensitive delivery.
We thought we'd have time, and it turns out we didn't have any time at all, so we delivered the first baby.
Twins Aiden and Caden are meeting Saskatoon paramedics Luke Duval and Tom Barbier for what they believe is the first time.
He came out pretty quick, and as we said, he came out breech, so that means basically bum or feet first.
And while the twins may not recognize this paramedic duo, they actually met 5 years ago on a day Samantha Warren says is mostly a blur.
I just remember being put into the ambulance. I remember still getting the IV, and I remember them telling me like, oh, I think we'll make it to Saskatoon, and no, there was no waiting at all.
On March 28, 2011, at the age of 20 years old, Warren's water broke, so she went to her local hospital in North Battleford. There, she was told they are not equipped to deliver twins, so it was best for her to go to a Saskatoon hospital.
When we showed up, we were quick to put her on the bed and into the ambulance, and it didn't take long after that, and we started seeing what we call the crowning. So when you start seeing babies, a part of the baby coming out basically, and as we said, breech deliveries means that either the butt or the feet come out first.
I was really scared. I didn't know what to expect with the way the labor was going, how it was progressing so fast.
Both paramedics did their best to keep control of the traumatic situation, which included keeping Warren calm. But the oldest twin, Aiden, had different plans. Before reaching Saskatoon's Royal University Hospital, Duval and Barbier had no choice but to pull this ambulance over near Langham on Highway 16, just 32 kilometers from Saskatoon, to deliver baby number 1.
Seeing a person on there taking their last breath or their first breath, we're lucky enough to be able to share in a brief part of their lives and be able to try and make a difference.
It's still, from this day, like even talking about it, it's very shaky for me, and just it's overwhelming. Just so grateful with how they were and how helpful, and pretty much just saving my baby boy.
With the boys now 5 years old and it recently being National Paramedic Services Week, a time to recognize first responders for the physically and mentally demanding work they often face on a daily basis, Warren knew this would be the perfect time to say thank you to the 2 men who had an invaluable impact on her family.
With Aiden getting older, everybody always talks to him about him being born on the side of the road, and I just thought it would be good. Like, now that they're 5, they're starting to understand a lot more better, so I definitely thought it would be a good idea. So hopefully they can remember it when they're older. It's just grateful that I get to do this. I get to meet them and hopefully get to have a conversation and say thank you to them for everything that they did.
We do a lot of really bad calls and even good calls, but at the end of the day, you often don't know what happened to your patients. You don't know the outcome. You don't know what the family, how you've affected them. This is that type of call where you'll never ever forget in your career, and so this just makes it like another 10 notches up higher on my list, because yeah, absolutely, now I know these little guys, and I think it's going to be neat to, like Tom says, meet them again in 5-10 years from now. Again, big thank you to Samantha for coming out, and I'll encourage anybody to do that on EMS week. Come and give your paramedic a hug.
You can find foods from all different cultures here at the 2nd Annual Food Truck Wars. Joining me right now is Kaylee Dallin. He is the owner of Tsum Tsum Middle Eastern Cuisine. Kaylee, you are a food truck based out of Saskatoon. How did Tsum Tsum come to be?
Well, I spent 7 years in the Middle East, in Israel specifically, and I was a chef there, so that's where I learned how to make the food.
That's super interesting. What took you to the Middle East?
Well, I met my wife in India. She's Israeli, and I chased her to Israel and spent 7 years there with her. And yeah.
That is amazing. I love that story. So I can only assume your wife is there on the truck with you side by side. What's it like doing this with your wife?
It's great. It's great. I mean, sometimes we have our moments, but basically it's good. It runs well, and we're excited, and we love it.
Cool. Yeah. This food truck started last spring, so how has the success been for Tsum Tsum? Are you seeing community members really respond to this type of food?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, it's a little bit of an uphill battle because you're always going against other common foods, and no, we've seen a great response, and day by day it's growing, and this year has been almost double, than last year with clientele, so it's really good.
Very cool. Is this the first time at the Food Truck Wars?
No, we were here last year. Actually, last year was our first day ever. So we were a little bit more disorganized last year, but yeah.
Breaking in Tsum Tsum on the 1st Annual Food Truck Wars. I love that. So tell us a little bit about your cuisine, what you have on the menu.
Well, we have common things like shawarma, in the pita, falafel. We have a few kind of Yemen type things. It's called schug, which is a spicy garlic herb sauce. What else do we have? Bowls, which we kind of invented. It's basically taking what's in the pita and putting it into a bowl, making it gluten-free on top of rice, which is quite nice. And we have salads, Arabic salad, hummus, tabbouleh, tahini, all the good stuff. Yeah.
Wow,
everything.
That sounds delicious. Yeah, a little bit of everything, so we'll definitely have to try that out after this interview. You're here at the Food Truck Wars. What do you love about this festival?
Let me just say one thing, best falafel in the city.
Okay, strong statement, strong statement.
Yes.
You'll have to prove that to me.
Absolutely.
Okay. What do you love about being here at Food Truck Wars, the atmosphere, and holy macaroni, you have beautiful sun today.
Love it. We recently formed a food truck association, so I have all our fellows association truck here, and I love having the environment and the people outside and the festival and the live, the life. It just feels great, and even when it was raining yesterday, you still had a lot of people out, so it was nice. Yeah.
And you're seeing a lot of different cultures enjoying your food?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, people from all over the world come, which is nice.
Hey, it must be nice. All right, Kaylee, well, thanks so much. I know you're super busy, so we'll let you get back to it. We have talked to many of the food trucks. We've checked out everything that the Food Truck Wars has to explore, but now we're going to head inside and see what's going on in there. You can get up to pretty much anything here at the Food Truck Wars. Right now, you are seeing a bunch of community members taking part in Super Smash Brothers. Joining me right now is Cole, and he's going to explain to us what's happening behind us.
Yeah, for sure. So we're just doing a tournament right now for Super Smash Brothers Melee. It's a 15-year-old fighting game that's still extremely popular. And we actually have a really big community in Saskatoon for it. In Saskatchewan, we have 908 members of our Facebook group. And for this game, we have 160 people who have played in multiple tournaments in the last 8 months.
Wow.
We get some pretty staggering numbers out here. Comparable, we actually get often more people than Winnipeg and like Edmonton or Calgary scenes do.
Wow.
And
why do you think that is?
I don't know, people are really passionate in the region. It's a unique game in that you can't play it online, so you have to meet up with people to do it. It's all kind of grassroots, so you end up building like big friendships. Like I can go travel to any city in North America and I'd get free housing for sure for a weekend to go play a tournament with these guys. And they Yeah.
So people can go to Super Smash Brothers Saskatchewan for all that information. Now, Cole, I see a lot of community members enjoying this setup. What do you love about being here at the Food Truck Wars? I believe you were here last year.
Yeah. Dave, the owner of the whole thing, the guy who's putting it all on, he's a super nice guy. He's like really just fulfills all of our needs. Really great to work with. And I don't know, the entertainment's been fantastic. Last night we had a big, there's a big breakdancing competition, a 2v2 breakdancing tournament, and it was amazing. We actually had some bad weather outside, so everyone came inside and they were all attracted to the music. We had a gigantic crowd, and the show went really amazing.
A little dance party.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what do you love about playing video games in Super Smash Brothers?
Well, it's just like a really tight-knit community. You just make really fast friends, and it's just something to look forward to every week in your spare time.
That's right, especially when the cold weather's around.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Cole, thanks so much. We'll be right back after the break. Many families are here at the second annual Saskatoon Food Truck Wars because there is entertainment and activities for all ages. The hot dog eating contest is just about to begin, but first let's take a look at how SkyApp is helping young people in our community. Recently they held the closing ceremonies for their 11th Urban Canvas program. Simon Hyatt spoke to the young artists who took part and the man who started the program.
A year ago, this would have been virtually unthinkable for Lisa Lamb, emceeing an event in front of dozens of strangers. But a lot has changed for her since she signed up to be an artist as part of the SkyApp Urban Canvas program.
It's an environment where you could make a lot of mistakes and do risks in a very safe environment where no one's going to judge you or criticize you, and it's a really nice place to learn and gain different skills such as confidence or people skills.
And while the participants in this year's installment of the program displayed their masterpieces at the Gordon Snellgrove Gallery as part of their graduation ceremony, creating art isn't really the main goal of SkyApp.
I've learned a lot more about how to speak for myself. I never used to speak for myself, and if somebody said something I didn't like, I would just dust it aside and be a pushover.
It's a dream come true over and over again, right? It's a dream come true now 11 times. It's come to fruition where, now we've had well over 100 people that have come through it and have taken what was a vision and used it to better their lives.
SkyApp began as Daryl Leachman's dream 2 decades ago. He launched it as a way to help young people who may be at risk, and through art instruction teach them about responsibility, as they are paid to be in the program, and are expected to treat it like a job.
Working with them, on an individual basis, working with as a team, and really trying to build that trust, those relationships, the camaraderie that goes with a small group, and use that to try and get them to a point where they will make it through the entire project.
Through his work with SkyApp, Leachman has become heavily involved in social issues locally, which he laments has ironically led to him being able to spend less of his own time working with the artists.
To actually spend that one-on-one time with the young people, that's the reason that I developed the program. So what I have to do is it's my job to make sure that I get people in there that can do that.
He has been able to fill the gaps with a talented staff that helps the participants achieve their goals and build friendships while creating their works of art.
An average day is just full of smiles and laughter, and it's just really fun to be around people and having art to combine us all. So I think it's really special.
For Go on Shaw TV, I'm Simon Hyatt.
We all remember those delicious fried mini donuts from our childhood. Well, Big O's takes those to a whole new level. Joining me right now is the owner-operator of Big O's, Owen. Owen, tell me, what are some of the menu items or some of your more popular items on your menu?
Well, of course, mini donuts are number one. We got the original sugar cinnamon and some of our other ones that are gourmets. We have Death by Donut, which is chocolate caramel score, strawberry shortcake, maple bacon, all topped with whipped cream.
All topped with whipped cream, just the way I like it. All right, well, Owen, you know what? We tried your dessert in the dessert challenge yesterday. I absolutely loved it. What's it like owning a Big O's food truck?
Well, it's not all fun and games. It's a lot of hard work and a lot of prep and that, but it does have its rewards. It's nice to come out to these events and see all different sorts of people and meet people from all over the place. So that's really what we enjoy about it. I'm based out of Prince Albert.
Oh, okay.
And I have my kids. I actually started out the business. My kids ran it for a while, and then we built another one here, Chickalick, for my son.
Very, very cool. Okay, so you have technically 2 food trucks here in the family. Why'd you come back here? What do you love about this Food Truck Wars Festival?
It's a great event. People can come and enjoy various menus of food, go inside the curling rink and cool off, have a beer, check out some wrestling, break dancing. It's been a good event.
Perfect. And were you here last year?
Yeah, I was. We were here last year.
And how does it compare to last year? Do you think it's growing?
I think it's held its own. Yesterday we had quite a bit of rain, but even through all the rain in the evening, we had quite a few people brave it out and got wet, and just for those mini donuts.
Just for those mini donuts. All right, well, I'm going to come line up and I'll be waiting for that Death by Donuts. All right, Owen, thank you so much for taking a few minutes for chatting with us.
Thank you.
Normally, you would find sheets of ice covering the floor here at the Sutherland Curling Rink, but this space has been transformed for this year's Food Truck Wars. Speaking of transforming spaces, each year the Shakespeare on the Saskatchewan site is rebuilt from the ground up. Simon Hyatt was recently there as the festival's home took shape.
It's a sure sign that summer has nearly arrived in Saskatoon. A crew of workers, with help from a tow truck, once again brought the tent that will house the stage for Shakespeare on the Saskatchewan to life for another season of Theatre by the River.
It's a Goliath tent, and it's really fun to be able to have the tow truck out and pull it up. It takes a lot of work and a lot of preparation beforehand to get it up, and then there's this brief moment where the whole thing goes up, and then we spend the next 6 weeks building our park and putting our shows together and invite the audience in come July.
While the tent raising is a big moment annually for the team that will stage the shows in the structure, this year A Midsummer Night's Dream and an all-female version of Julius Caesar, it is just the first step in making the season a reality.
We've got all these fantastic crews coming down onto site to work. Starting next week, we head down to the university to start rehearsing the shows. We've got 3 shows this summer, and it's a wild time getting it all put together, and we love every single minute of it.
There will also be one production that doesn't take place under the tent this year, as for the first time ever, there will be a roving show that will wander the Meewasin Valley area. For more information on all shows, visit shakespearesask.com. For Go on Shaw TV, I'm Simon Hyatt.
Contestants have taken their spot on stage for the hot dog eating contest, including last year's winner who consumed 12 hot dogs. Speaking of food, I'm pretty full, which is great. However, Simon Hyde and I have to get on that stage momentarily to judge the entree round, so wish us luck. Make sure you check out Saskatoon's many different food trucks this summer. A great place to go to find out where a truck is on a certain day is snackmap.com. It live tracks the trucks. Thanks so much for joining us. See you next time.